Hey everybody, welcome to episode 153 of It's Just Bodybuilding. Of course, Big Ron Partlow, our producer Scott McNally, and our very morally flexible Dusty Hanshaw is back. He's not wearing the same shirt for a whole week. He's only wearing the same shirt for one day.
Yes.
Right?
That's the way I roll.
Through this.
We have two of those, right?
Yes. So we got like, share, subscribe, comment with a question, and
ring the bell.
There we go. That's what we need from you so that we can continue to give you this, right? And this is our YouTube question episode of the week, apparently.
Yes.
Right, Scott?
Yes. Let's do this. Just tell, because I always try to time it whenever it's time to like bring the next question. Just tell me when you're ready for a question, and then tell me when you're ready for the next question. I shall put them up. We have about a dozen of them. There's a lot of people who took part in the last episode.
Nice.
Which we appreciate, because that stuff helps to boost the show up, helps other people to find it. And the whole ring the bell thing, I think that's important too, because we've had people who say, hey, I'm not getting notifications. I didn't know when there's another show. If you don't ring the bell, you can be subscribed and you'll never see another show again, possibly.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that my ringing the bell was so important. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it still comes through your feed if you're subscribed, but you don't get notified.
Yeah.
Like it just drifts through the feed, and if you're not on the feed that day, and you know what I mean, how YouTube works, whatever. You know.
Wow.
Right now my YouTube feed is all messed up because I kind of went down a weird rabbit hole the other day.
I've done that.
And now my YouTube feed is like kind of sketchy, and I'm trying to re-click on other things in case I die and someone goes through my YouTube.
Can't have that. Between that and my phone, they're screwed. Damn search history.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. You know how it works. That's all okay. So we got some YouTube questions, Scott. Let's get one rolling.
All right, cool.
Get the party started.
Question for the next episode. When we're starting out, we pick up a lot of habits and believe a lot of training and nutrition principles that aren't nearly as true as we thought, or complete bullshit. Sometimes we end up holding on to some of these principles just out of habit, like anabolic windows, high rep versus low rep, as law, static stretches, lowers, strength, etc. Do any of you have any of these that might not be true, but you still do out of habit anyway? Love your content, and thanks as always.
I'm just trying to think. Yeah, okay. You go ahead, Dusty.
Well, I still believe these to be true, even though people will argue with me to death on science. I still think fasted cardio is the best cardio for getting in shape. And I still think that going on like a pure fish diet,
yeah, that's a good one,
changes the way you look. It just does. And it's one of those things where there's nothing scientific about it. If you're looking at macros, it doesn't make sense. There's no reason for that to be the case. And same thing, I'm also a firm believer that I don't give a shit when you eat your food as long as you get it in today. Yet I'm telling you that somehow it's magic to do cardio before you eat. But in my experience, it's the best form of cardio for losing fat, and that does not make sense scientifically at all.
Right. I see what you mean.
About you?
I'm just trying to think here. Well, they have this science now that says it's, static stretching drains you of strength and explosive power and all that stuff, right? But I still really like to stretch a bit when I'm warming up. Like people are saying don't stretch at all, and I'm just like, I don't feel good about that. I've trained without any stretching, and I've trained with a bit of stretching, like get opened up and loosened up and stuff. And I don't know, there's a feeling of safety and a feeling of like freer movement and more ability to bang things out without feeling like I'm not. I don't know. If I don't stretch a bit, I just don't feel like I should be loading things like that. Like, you know what I mean? These feel tight. And I don't know if I'm just sort of not flexible enough by default, Maybe people that have really high default flexibility, who aren't tight at all, maybe they don't have to stretch at all when they warm up. I don't know. But, I like a little bit of stretching. I don't go crazy, but, I'm a believer that you should get things opened up, get more of a pump in there, help bring blood in, all that sort of stuff. So, I know the post-workout window is supposed to not be true, but I sure as shit don't want someone who's dieting for a show to not eat for 2 hours after they train.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
right.
I don't know. There's a few of those, like they say, the science proves that it doesn't matter what rep range you're in, you still get hypertrophy. But I'm like, yeah, I know. But I still think like the 6 to 15 range is where like what all the Mr. Olympia Sandows are. So, that sort of stuff.
I think you got to break in with something like that too, though. Training to true failure, muscular failure at 6 to 15, I think you can do that easier without error than you can when you're in that 20-25 rep range where maybe it's just burning, so you stop. Or maybe like you're getting fatigued cardiovascularly, so you stop. Yeah. So that's my argument on the difference of those. You got to be pretty advanced, because I train in really high rep ranges sometimes, but I don't think that would have worked for me 15 years ago because I would have been stopping before I really had to.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
What about you, Scott?
Yeah.
Man, well, when you were saying the fasted cardio thing, the fish thing came to my mind, and then you said it. But I agree with you, man, like 110% on that. And I don't know, maybe I believe it's true that things like whitefish, like cod or tilapia, don't have arachidonic acid in it. Maybe there's like an inflammatory thing that's not happening. And I know that fish is going to be really high in protein and even lower in fat than a lot of other lean meat sources. So I don't know. And I'll tell you what. Let me ask you this. Like if you sit down and you eat a bowl of chicken and rice versus a bowl of fish and rice, I guarantee, at least for me, I'm going to be starving like in 45 minutes. I don't care how much food it was. I know that, and that tells me something. If I'm able to process something so fast and break it down so quickly, there's something to that. And then I've seen it in my own life too. If we switch like half of the meals to fish, it does make a difference. So I know that everybody always laughs now and they're like, oh yeah, fish skin thins the skin, ha ha ha. But I do think there is something to it too. I'd agree with it.
Well, I have never been one to believe that it's the fish. I'm not like, I'm just saying, in my experience, I feel the same way about just really low fat, low calorie diets. So like when I've gone to eating a lot of egg whites,
like egg whites,
that's another one.
I've had egg whites 3 meals a day, and then fish at 2 meals a day.
Yeah.
So now, but yeah, the thing is like, they say we need a certain amount of dietary fat for healthy function of the brain. You need some saturated fat to create hormones, and you need this, and blah 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 blah, blah like that sort of thing, cholesterol, blah blah blah. But sometimes I had success going to like a 0 fat diet.
Yeah,
and just like,
well, you're not living your life that way.
No, it's not like you're living your life that way. But yeah, like, and so when a lot of guys would go to all fish, I'd be like, oh, I get it. Like, you're going no fat. Like, your meals just dropped in calories. Like, that adds up for the whole day. You just dropped like 300 calories. Yeah. That's going to add up. So, but I would always do egg whites instead of like all fish. One of the main things that concerned me about eating fish 5 times a day is that I was around several people in my life that smelled like fish because they were eating fish 5 times a day.
I've done
it was
that.
like coming out of them. Yeah. Like they're in the gym training and they just stink like fish. And I'm like, dude, like, you're fucking hard to be around, man. Like, your family's dying, dude. Like, go home and eat something else. Like, take a break. Like, I don't know what's going on in your body, but you got like fucking so much fish in your digestive tract that it's literally coming out in your sweat. I never wanted to be that guy.
I thought you were going to like say something health-wise, like, I'm afraid of the mercury that's in the fish. You're like, I just don't want to smell like it.
I don't want to fucking smell like fish everywhere I go. That was just the craziest thing. I remember the first time.
Yeah, you're right.
Which what?
He said, which I back.
I back. No, I think I have a delay.
Yeah. So yeah, I just I would never want to stink like fish. I would just be so brutal. Oh my God. So, but yeah, I've been around people where like they come in to train one day and they're 2 weeks out, right? And they come in to train one day and they're warming up on the leg press. I remember my buddy Rob warming up on the leg press next to me one day. And I just looked over at him and I was like, oh my fucking God, that's coming out of him.
Yeah.
It was like coming out of his breath and coming out of his sweat. And I would love to hear from someone like who knows exactly what's going on. Like, how come they smell like fish, but yet, I could eat a lot of chicken and I don't smell like chicken? So what is it about the fish? Is it a digestive thing? Is it coming out of their sweat, or is it like what's happening? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd like to know.
Yeah. I think Dusty's on a leg. Guys, we just don't have the best internet connection for Dusty today.
What's up, buddy?
He's just froze.
How's my sound?
Oh, there we go. Do you have any other devices that are connected to your line right now?
No, I don't think so. No one's here.
Okay.
So she's got one, I guess.
Is your phone?
But yeah, my
connected?
phone's on. I just looked.
Okay. Cool.
Don't know why it's slow right now. It's literally the same box. So I don't know if it's just how it pulls into this apartment or what. It's weird.
Okay. When you move into your new studio, we'll get you hardwired Ethernet.
Yes.
Then
yes.
You own all
That's a
internet.
must.
Yes.
And I want my own. We've already discussed this. I'm like, this is just my internet. Everyone else, fuck off. You guys can have your own. I'll buy two.
Yeah, you need your own. Yeah, you need your own. What's it called? Receiver, whatever it is.
Well, if you get like the good, like I have like the 1.3G or something like that, like then you can do everything. You can be downloading porn in the background while you're watching porn over here and doing the podcast all at once.
Yes, that's what I need to do.
4K.
Yeah, all in 4K.
So you knew what I was doing in 4K this whole time. Awkward. I know you guys saw me keep looking over. I didn't know why.
I had a feeling.
Yeah, I need that for sure. I gotta get that. I might get that before I leave. I can't do this for 4 fucking months. But anywho,
no. Okay.
All right. Another question?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Brian Murphy, who is a subscriber of the channel. You can see that little box right there. It shows he subscribes. Another great episode. Thanks, guys. Question for the next show. Best ways to approach bringing up a lagging body part. In theory, I would like to just hit arms a lot harder and keep doing everything else the same. Or should I take the approach of dropping everything else back while focusing on arms? How do each of you approach this? Thanks for everything. Keep up the great work. Good question.
Well, first thing I say for lagging body parts is to make sure they're prioritized in the workout split over the week. So It doesn't mean they have to be first in the workout. Like, you don't have to do biceps first and then chest if you're trying to bring your biceps up. It just means you have to make sure that when you do biceps, you have 100% of your energy that you can really, really give her. Mental focus is a big thing. So let's say you have really good pecs and you need to bring your biceps up. That would be a good match because you could reduce your volume a bit on your chest day because you don't need it if your chest is a strong point, and you could put more into your biceps. I do think you have to do more total volume for body parts you're trying to bring up, but I don't think that necessarily means it has to be in more than one workout. I think there's other ways to do it, but usually that's how people do it, is they'll, keep their heavy normal day or whatever, and they'll add volume at another point in the week. There's a bunch of different ways to do it. You could just do more volume on that body part day if that's what's best for your schedule. But I mean, mental focus is a big thing. If you've got something that needs to come up, you need to have your head in the game, because then that's where you correct all the other stuff. That's where you fix the form, and that's where you really work on the contractions, and that's where you feel the connection best and all that stuff. So just really making sure that you're mentally like zoned in on that body part, and you have a little bit extra, focus on it as far as what you're going to do. So I think that's probably the most important concept for bringing up weak body parts.
Yeah, I agree. I would say the thing that I had to do personally with bicep growth was I had to realize that I couldn't train biceps the same way I train a lot of other muscles, which was I was unaware of the obvious, which is how easy it is for other body parts to help. So for biceps, I really had to take a step back and say, okay, I'm moving a lot of weight, but what's moving it? And then, it was really simple for me. I cut my weight in half one day for a set and just said, all right, I'm going to execute this set perfectly and see what I feel. And I immediately realized I wasn't training the biceps. I was hitting them, but they might have been getting a percentage instead of all of the work.
Yeah.
Now I train them very light. I think it's key. People ask all the time, they'll say, what's the best way to train X, or what's your best way to put on muscle mass? And I think that if you were to look at my training, especially at this stage of my career, it looks a lot like my music selection. It's a little all over the place because for one body part, it's just, it's just get after it. Just fucking matter. Pull the weight, pull it heavy, call it a day. And then biceps.
One day's death metal.
I laugh.
One day's indie.
I'm obviously I'm listening to Celine Dion training biceps with a 20-pound dumbbell, so I can really lock into it. There's no death metal on bicep day. That's the key.
Right. Okay. You get a little too hyped.
Yeah, it really did though. It comes down to just the focus for me. I did not need to add volume. I needed to train better.
I like that.
Yeah, train better. Okay.
Only thing
I like that.
I would add just one thing, and that's that we only have so much recoverability in our week, So
yes.
I've met guys who are like, oh man, I just love training legs, and leg training is my best day, when I train legs, and they just like utterly annihilate their legs. And they've got great legs too, but they need to bring up their back and their chest. Upper body is lacking by comparison. And it's like, well, maybe we need to back off a little bit. And sometimes it's a psychological thing where they're like, oh man, but no, like they identify like legs is my day. If I don't get in there and just like destroy legs, I don't feel like I'm getting a good workout in. But it's like, well, okay, what do you want? Do you want to keep destroying your legs? I mean, you got great legs, or do you want to grow your chest and back? Because sometimes it's like maybe you didn't need to do anything more. You might need to do something less, and it might not even be that body part. It might be in something else.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
Yeah, there is a certain amount of sets you can do at the end of the day, and you will eventually, if you're let's say you're doing an experiment to see how much volume it takes to get something to grow, you are eventually going to have to take sets away from something else.
Yeah.
Yep. You can't just wind up at 10 sets per body part, except for biceps where I do 50.
Yeah.
Right.
You're going to have to be like, okay, maybe I'll drop to 8 sets per body part.
Yeah.
And then biceps can still get 15 sets or whatever, whatever you have to do. So,
right.
All right.
Another question.
Let's see. Keith says, love the podcast. What was the one prep that you each had that went horribly wrong? And if you remember, what was it that caused it, going into detail, from coach's mistakes to your own sabotage, etc.?
2013. I've talked about it before, but that was my worst year of prepping. And it was all just started with an injury early on in the prep. I had a tear in my upper quad squatting. I had a pop and like a rip sound up in the high upper quad. And my leg was super sore. I couldn't really put any weight on it if I bend my knee, and my leg got all purple, and this was like 4 months out from the show, but it took like 6 weeks for that leg to clear out and look better. So by the time the leg looked better, I was like under 10 weeks out, and I got I tore my fucking quad again. I tore it at the top of the teardrop on the inside where the teardrop and the adductor touch, the sartorius and the teardrop touch. I tore it right there, squatting with chains, and it popped, and I felt like a rip, and it turned bruised and turned purple again, ran down my fucking leg. And at this point, I'm like under 10 weeks out. And the first one took 6 fucking weeks to go away. So I just am beside myself at this point. And, the stress and then, it just was a rough prep. And my leg didn't quite clear out in time for the show. So I had one quad that was dry and had striations in it. And then one quad that was a little bit foggy with a bit of a film on it. And I mean, what happens? I mean, the judges look at you for a second. And if they look at that quad, they're like, oh, he's not in shape. And it just cost me so badly. And then obviously, like, I did stuff that was dumb at the end trying to fix the leg. Like, I thought, well, maybe if I take an extra diuretic, like, let's just pull really hard. Like, I wrapped the leg. I even sat in the sauna. And then I thought I'll take an extra diuretic and just see if it pulls. And it did. I felt like it did pull a little bit, but then I was flat. And I thought, well, I don't look good. I got to come in full as a fucking house. So I just filled up. I like drank like fluid and I ate a bunch of shit and I just got as full as a fucking house. And I went on stage and I wound up in 6th out of 30, which was my worst placing ever in Canada because I didn't make the top 5, which was the first time I'd ever not done my posing routine at the night show, which was like a huge blow to me because I was always posing at night. That was a thing. I never didn't make top 5. Fuck that. Never. And this time I went home, without posing at the finals. And I just fucking it was the worst. But that prep was just doomed from the start. I looked back on it after. I'm like, what a waste of time and money that whole prep was. Just fucking puke. Ugh. So yeah, sometimes you just got to know, like, this is not happening.
Yeah.
I mean, I still looked like fucking, I still got some pictures from the gym that look crazy, like, I mean, I was big. Like, I took, I took the off seasons all serious at that point. I mean, I was getting big off season and like, I was like 275, really lean coming into that show. And I just, everything just kind of fell apart because I was trying to pull all the water out of that leg. And I wound up like, 267 on stage without strided glutes. And it just was like, what the fuck was the point of this? What a waste.
Well, you, Scott, did you ever do that?
Never did that, but I made my own mistakes. I would say I remember the third time I competed. I remember, so I did middleweight, and then the next year I did another prep. I competed in the spring, and then I took like a year to grow, and then I competed in the fall that next season. So like in 1 year, when it was like, good off season, and I actually came in lighter and tighter and harder, and it was one of my best looks at my second show ever. It was one lighter, so I was like 177 at the first show, and they still let me on stage, pound over, and then I was 172 at the next year, and it was my favorite look, still one of my favorite looks. And then from there, I took 2 years off to grow, and then I came back at 194 or 195. And at that point, I still had a few pounds to lose. Like, I bet you if I came in at like 189, I would have been solid there.
Right.
And then my coach said, like, well, what do you think about doing the Michigan State Championships? Because that's coming up in 6 weeks. And he was like, let's try to hit middleweight by then. And we'll just like pull all the food out and try to hit middleweight and see how that goes, And I was like, crazy, 195. How am I going to hit 176 in this period of time? And I was like, well, I'll believe in it, let's do it. So I tried it, and it was just, I didn't feel good. And then I honestly started cheating on the diet after a while. Like, it was just the food drop was so crazy. It was the only time that I ever really struggled on a diet. But like, we went to like nothing, just like protein only. And I don't think it would have been a good look anyway. I think the smart move would have been like, hey, why don't we do the Michigan and try to get, 5-6 pounds lighter? But we were going for way lighter. And then I still did the show, and it wasn't like a failure. I still got 4th, and it was like, it was a big lineup. Like, light heavy was like, there's across, I can't remember how many guys, but there's across the stage. I still got 4th, but it wasn't a good look. It wasn't the look I wanted. And I remember still to this day having my girlfriend shooting my pictures for me and just standing outside my backyard the morning of the show, tanned up, hitting my poses and sending them to him. I just remember feeling, I don't want to fucking do this, because it wasn't like the look I was proud of, So I would say that, maybe I was done that season. Maybe I should have, or either not done it at all, or just tried to shoot for a better version of what I had done at the first show. So whatever.
Right.
Yeah. Now, for me, it was real simple, and I think I would definitely share this to people. 2012, 2010, I got 5th at the USA's, my first pro qualifier. 2011, I was phenomenal, but we died too far, and I took 10th. So 12 was supposed to be like the redemption show. You know, I had a whole year of like obsessing about it. And my personal life was a complete fucking train wreck. And I probably should have pulled from that show like before I even started the prep. But I started the prep, had a CETO, was doing everything right, and was pretty much, in hindsight, I had been in denial the entire time, because I remember the night before the show taking pictures for Chris to send them to him. And I remember looking at the pictures and being like, this light is terrible. Let's shoot him over here. And I kept moving around to find light that made me look in a way that I did not look. It's like, it wasn't a light, fat fuck. You're not in shape. Like, it was brutal. And I remember tough. Because I ended up taking 10th that year, which I took 10th the year before. But the difference was I looked terrible and I knew it. And then when I saw the pictures, I'm like, I don't know how I even made 10th. I mean, it had to have been the weakest lineup I'd competed in at the pro qualifier, because how that was good enough for 10th, I have no idea. And it was a double smack because I knew what was wrong. Chris felt terrible. I remember he came to my room the day after, and he's like, he knows me. He knows I'm not cheating. I'm not making mistakes. And he kind of looked at me like, what are we going to do? You know, and I said, this one's on me. Like, I knew what the problem was. It wouldn't have mattered who was prepping me. I wouldn't have gotten ready. It wouldn't have mattered what drugs I used. Nothing was going to do the job. Just too much background noise. But it was also a double whack, because when you nail I won junior nationals, then I got 5th at the USA as a super. Then you get an off show where you're 10th, and people go, oh, it's, he was peeled. It was a fluke.
Yeah.
But when you get 2 back in a row, was the 5th a fluke or were the 10ths a fluke? Because you only got one of those and you got 2 of the other. So that was definitely a shot. And the only thing that it did on a positive note was I wasn't waiting a year. I was like, when is the next pro qualifier? We're doing that. Which was the USA's in July the following year. And I took 3rd and was definitely back. So if you're not, I think it's something I read the other day. It was pretty cool. Somebody put up a thing. It was a story, but it got shared a few times. They basically said, if you can't remove $2,500 from your bank account today, you're not financially ready to do a show, like without it affecting your life. And I think that's accurate. But I also think if you already have stresses in your life, if you and your wife or your girlfriend or whatever are fighting, it's not time to start a prep.
Yeah.
Like, or business troubles or like any of that shit, because you can't have it. It's just not a feasible thing. And in hindsight, I look back at when I was my best, and when I was at my best, I had life shit that takes place. You're going to get a flat tire, you're going to have work problems or something, but my house life was phenomenal. You know what I mean? Like, there was 5 people getting me ready for the USAs. Chris, my wife, my training partner, we were all getting ready for the show. And the year that it was bad, if anything, I was using the show as distraction from how shitty my real life was. And that's just not how it works. So if anybody ever catch themselves in that position, save yourself the time and the money, pull out, handle that shit, do another show.
I've mentioned this once before. So you touched on a very important thing when you sat down and you looked at Chris and you said, this one's on me.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in that situation as a trainer and as a client, where like it doesn't matter who your trainer is or how good they are at what they do or how well they know your body or how great they made you look at your last show or the show before that. If your head is not in the right spot, your body will not follow.
Yeah.
Right.
And that is a lesson I've seen over and over, and then I've experienced it too. So 2012, I did like a robot prep. I've talked about this. Perfect prep, you know, right on my game. I'm in my prime, my A game. I'm fucking prep master. Not a single worry. I'm the best client Chris Aceto's ever going to have. Right? That's my attitude. Like, pictures are on time. They're clear. Right. They're perfect. You know, like, I'm in that zone. You know, I've been second a bunch of times at this point, so I expect to turn pro anytime now. And I go to Edmonton and I get second to Antoine. Mm-hmm. And I had some first place votes. And I get second to Antoine. And I'm fucking, you know, I saw that I had first place votes and I'm like, fuck, just not enough again, you know? And, you know, a couple months go by and I message Chris and I'm like, hey, you know, do we want to get rolling? Do you want me to keep some off-season pitchers coming to you? And he goes, I'm only going to help you again if it's not like last time.
Wow.
And I go, what? Like, I didn't even know what he was talking about. I'm just like, what are you talking about? And he's like, last prep was brutal, man. You were a disaster. You were off the pale, or beyond the pale. Your mental state was, you were no fun to prep. You were super fun in 2010. Had a blast. 2011, we off-seasoned and it was all fun and games. And then 2012 came and you were just fucking brutal client. And I was just like, what? Because like, to me, I did a perfect prep.
Yeah.
And then he goes, what do you remember about the prep? And I was like, because that's when I went through a big breakup and everything.
Oh shit.
And I realized I didn't actually remember any of the prep.
Wow.
Like, I do not remember that prep. No memories, no stories of it, nothing. I don't remember a single thing. And I realized I was just like using the show as a distraction because I didn't want to deal with my own personal shit. I just went, oh yeah, shit happens, I'm prepping.
Yeah. You can do that easily.
And I wonder, you know, I wondered after, you know, if I would have been the same client that Chris had in 2010 when I was all fucking, like, mental attitude was perfect and it was all great and he thought it was fantastic, maybe I could have won that show. I had first place votes and I was beyond the pale, the horrible mental attitude apparently. So you just wonder, like, what could my body have done if I was actually willing to let it go there or lead it there? If I could mentally lead myself to a better place. So, you know, I've had clients say that to me too. I've had clients go, hey man, just let you know, this 5th place I got today or this fucking whatever, you know, my prep was a bit of a mess and you did your best. And like, I've had people tell me that and I'm like, oh, I appreciate that. You know, it's good that you can take responsibility for, you know, some people can't take responsibility for their preps at all. Yeah. Right. We see them, they coach blame and coach jump and this didn't work and that didn't work. And I'm like, or are you broken? Maybe you're broken. Maybe you've got some stuff going on that you got to deal with and no prep is ever going to go perfect for you until, you know, you're really ready to let it. But I've been there on both sides of it, you know, but if your mental attitude isn't good, then you can't expect to have a glorious outcome of your mind has to be in it in a positive way. So I see that a lot.
Yeah. That's a great thing. Cause I think that, like you said, the attitude is the magic. I remember like you said, remembering preps. I remember 2011 still because I remember having those days where I was so tired and just getting up on the step mill. You know, you ever stand at the bottom of the step mill and you look up at it and you're like, fuck, here we go. You know? And, but I remember I used to always think to myself, like, you know, when I'm on it and I was struggling, I would remember thinking like, they're not doing this and being happy. Right. Like you're in hell and you're happy about it. Cause I'm like, these other guys can't feel this bad, you know? And that was something I knew I needed. We actually talked about this over the weekend. When I got into bodybuilding, it was a conversation I had with my wife at the time. I'm like, hey, for me to do this successfully, you have to be in like 100% because I'm not as good as these guys. So I can't have anything pushing me in the wrong direction. So simply, are you in or not? And she was like, yeah, absolutely. And it matters, because it really, I knew from jump, I didn't have an inch to give. So, I needed every ounce of help I could have. And I was kind of, I kept trying to send DMs to other guys' wives to get them in trouble. Never mind. Sorry. What? It's poker. I'm just trying to win a game here.
No, I know.
So what do we got? We got more.
That's
Scott?
true, man.
Let's see here. Yeah, this is actually not a question, but a comment from Scott Weston. He says, "Can't believe one of my close friends eats pizza with a knife and a fork. Not only is this serial killer mentality, it's actually worse than finding out your friend is a turn the radio down kind of guy. Disgusting behavior."
I appreciate that. So Scott
I have no idea who that was directed at, Ron.
Scott is not alone in thinking that my knife and fork pizza eating is weird.
We got a number of comments, Ron. I'm just going to let you know. Of comments.
Just letting people know, the other night I had some pizza.
Oh, God.
And I used a knife and fork. But then about an hour later, I walked past the box and there's a couple pieces left. And I just grabbed one up and folded it and ate it. It was okay. Nothing. Well, so here's the thing. It's very technical.
Was that before or after you killed the hookers?
One of them was dead. The other one was still technically alive.
You're like, I go a little more pizza. A little more pizza first.
A little more pizza. I'm a little after. I worked up an appetite. So when the pizza's still really hot, really really warm, that's when you run the risk of uneven topping distribution with the folding and biting, right? Because the cheese pulls and the other toppings pull, and then you get the mess, and that hits your shirt. Ooh. And I'm fucking got to change my shirt. Now I got to fucking change my shirt. So this is one of the things that it really upsets me. So
couldn't tell.
When the pizza's cooled down a bit, right? About an hour after, an hour later after the movie's done, and you got those two pieces, and they're not cold, they're not in the fridge, they're just sitting there room temperature. The cheese is like firmer. So now you have more of a secure, and you don't get the uneven topping problem. That's a little thing with me. I just thought I'd throw that out.
All right.
All I heard was excuses, Scott. That's all I heard. But go ahead.
Question for the next episode. Which one was your favorite episode? The funniest you can remember. I remember one episode that had me crying because I was laughing so much. I think it was the one where Ron told a story about the guy from the army at the bar. That was a good episode. Those are some good stories. So he's asking us what was our favorite episode of our show, I guess.
Oh, geez. I honestly don't even remember any of them. I remember having like Chris on. I remember having Jay on. I remember like Hollingshead's mountain climbing story.
That was good.
It was like, my brain is just mush, just a mush of like,
I feel the same
152 episodes. Well, you've done like 1,000 podcasts, dude.
Yeah, but still,
we've had lots of fun on this show.
And I will just throw this one up here too from Chris. He says, "I'm 1,000% here for Aceto," since he mentioned him.
Okay. I just talked to Chris. Chris FaceTimed me the other day.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you have
I'm trying to think though.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give you a little. I didn't tell you guys this. Chris FaceTimed me the other day, and you know how I see it's a FaceTime. So I'm like, okay, he's driving. So you're gonna get the driving like this is you're gonna be your view, right?
Yeah.
So he's driving, and you're gonna get this shot of him, right? And I answer it, and he doesn't say hello. He just says, "What percentage of the current crop of bodybuilders do you think are mentally ill?"
Oh, God. Oh, wow.
And I'm like, oh, we're doing this conversation? It's 10 in the morning.
It's a little early here on the West Coast.
I'm on the West Coast.
I can't remember. It was 1 p.m. for him. He'd seen a lot of updates by then.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he was very happy when I told him how popular the potato story was, Dusty.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really liked that one.
I got to bring this up because you guys will love this, especially you, Ron, because you understand. So
He
I
also
send
said,
Daniel,
sorry, I got to interrupt you one sec. He said, he said, Dusty doesn't answer my stupid calls sometimes.
He's like, this is bullshit. I'm calling with randomness and you're not answering. So yeah, what are you doing anyways? So Daniel starts with him, and the other day, so it was Tuesday before last because I was out of town. I said, how's it going? He goes, it's weird. And I go, weird? What do you mean? He's like, everything is so simple, but I'm changing so fast. And I said, that's why I wanted you to train with Chris. Nice. I wanted you to understand just how much mental masturbation these coaches have when they're trying to make it look really complicated. He's like, and he said, we're in touch almost every day. And he goes, I don't even know how he has time for it. And I'm like, that's every client he has that same question. I remember the day I was trying to figure out why he cared about me, but he's just been blown away at the simplicity and how well it's working. And I'm
That's cool.
Yep. That's how it works. Like and then the other thing, which you will love, I told him day one, Ron, I said, hey, when you can't understand a text, just send it to me. I'll let you know what he said. And I've gotten about 3 of those where he's like, I need you. I just get a screenshot. I'm like, oh, that one's not hard.
Like, what do you mean by this?
Well, Chris doesn't, he doesn't fix any mistakes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So you're reading like a sentence, but then there's a word that doesn't make any sense. And then the sentence continues, and then there's no punctuation half the time.
Yeah, you have to be. It's funny because actually he sent me one yesterday. And I missed it on the flight, but I guess he called Chris back and he got explanation on it. And I finally read it and I go, well, I'm glad that Chris answered this because this is a Aceto level beginner and I'm an Aceto expert. Don't bother me with this shit.
You remember
it was
what
too
it was?
easy. I'm gonna see if I'm gonna pull it up real quick because it was pretty funny. Let's see here. Where you at, Daniel? There it is.
Yeah.
Trest days, carbs go to meals 1 and 2 only. Cardio 45, train day 30 cardio, picks Tuesday. And then he sends to me, he says, needs some translation here. The first line is what I'm unsure of. Does that mean train day and rest day, carbs are only meals 1 and 2? And then he says, so I read it real quick and I'm like, yeah, training days, the carbs go to just meal 1 and 2. And then on the, obviously cardio drops on training days. He's like, and then I get that follow up. It says, I got translation from him. Haha, we're good. But I just love it. The spelling is also the key because train days is TRREST days. And then picks Tuesday is all caps on Tuesdays except for the Y is lower. It's like... Oh, it's fantastic. I love it too because I like, it's great when you pre-warn someone. You're not going to understand half of this shit, but I got you.
Yeah.
So think of what Chris did. He cap locked Tuesday.
Yeah.
Or he accidentally cap locked Tuesday. And he got all the way to almost the end of the word. And he's like, cap lock's on. Took it off, then hit the Y.
But didn't delete the other 4 letters, 5 letters. Those are already there. Fuck off, I'm busy.
Yeah, he'll get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was amazing.
I actually used to save a few of his that were funny because I showed a friend of mine a couple of Aceto's texts before. And I was like, this means add 50 grams of carbs. This means, and I was like, he's just staring at it. He's like, wow.
How did you get that from that?
You need a cipher. You need a cipher. Okay.
A decoder ring of some sort.
Yeah. Okay. You got another one?
Good shit. What do we got?
All right. Hey, Ron, one episode. Can you please tell some stories about your time in Australia living with Nick and Allison Jones and just your experiences of the Australian bodybuilding scene back then? I believe Nick may have brought you a car to use. Love the show, guys. Keep up the great work. From Simply.
He's laughing.
Hey, I've I've been friends with Nick for a long time. Nick did a whole bunch for me. So I met him in 95 when I moved to Australia, and I was living with John Davey, who owns all the World Gyms there. If everyone in Australia knows John Davey.
Yeah.
But I was living with him, and I met Nick at the same time at the same gym, Archer's Gym. I've talked about this gym. It was a crazy shithole hardcore dungeon gym. It was so cool. It was upstairs. It wasn't a dungeon, but it had a dungeon feel. But it had a wide open wall, like wide open, just vented glass, like a lot of Australian buildings have. So you can't really ever prevent the fresh air from flowing in, right? And the ocean breeze just went right through the gym, in the front wall, right out the back wall. And it was just awesome. And anyways, Nick was just one of those guys. Nick and John took me under their wing, and I was just a kid, 19-year-old kid, at a gym bag. That was it. So, Nick was a sales rep for Musashi, so he would give me, like, if there was like a return protein that had a broken lid or fucking crooked label, or a box that was half open, or someone returned something, like someone would buy a product and say, oh, I don't like this flavor, and return it. Nick would like give me like all these supplements out of his trunk. Like it was pretty awesome. So, I was getting free supplements, and, I was getting picked up and driven to the gym by these guys because I was training with them. And it was just a blast. And the car, Nick let me borrow his car a bunch of times, but John actually gave me a car because John had two cars. He had this like shitty old $400 shitbox car that was still in the garage that he just hadn't gotten rid of yet. And then he had the decent car that he'd bought, So he's like, hey, you can drive that one while you're here. Nice. So I had like a shitbox car to rip around in, and yeah, they were just awesome. And both those guys did an endless amount for me the 2 years I lived in Australia, like an endless amount of stuff, like just very, very extraordinarily generous friends, help me get a job, help me move, come and live with me, stay with me if you want, here's a car, blah, 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 here's free supplements, just all that sort of stuff. So yeah, great guy.
That's cool. That's cool.
Very.
We got a bunch more here still.
Oh. And his wife's name is Angela, not Allison. But he wasn't with her back then.
Another one for Ron, real quick here. Where can I buy West Coast Iron T-shirts? Love to have one. We do get that question from time to time.
West Coast Iron T-shirts. Well, we don't have them online yet. We got a whole new giant batch. I would be happy to mail some out if they wanted to IG me. Okay. Personally, I'd be happy to mail them a shirt. We got some fans that want shirts. They will eventually be online. That's been a bit of a headache. I know I've been saying that for a while, but they keep selling so crazy at the gym that we're like, fuck, if we put these online, we're going to have inventory issues, and we don't have anywhere to store more inventory. It's a good problem to have, but we just haven't figured it out yet. You know what I mean? So yeah, they can IG me.
All right.
No problem.
B East asks you guys or us, doing push-pull legs while cutting low calories are affecting performance. Should I switch to a bro split or add an intra-workout sup? Any low-cal intra-workout recommendations?
I love water.
Yeah, it's pretty low-calorie, too.
It's my favorite.
Yeah, it's the best intra-workout.
The reason I said that sarcastically is because the intra workouts are going to add calories if they're going to do what he's looking for. I find, and this is, I only know what happens with me, but something I work on with my clients a lot in prep is I'm a pretty firm believer that people walk into the gym tired. They've decided they're tired. They've decided they're feeling their diet, and they are tired, and they are feeling their diet. But you need to leave that shit in your car. You don't have time for that in the gym. So you literally have to just figure out a routine that before you walk into the door of the gym, you're not allowed. You're not allowed to be weaker. You're not allowed to be tired. I used to train when I turned pro, I was training at 10 o'clock at night after a full 12-hour day working and stress and everything else. But I would literally go home, go in my house for a short amount of time. I would change. I don't know what it was, but I always felt clean, at least if I just and kind of relaxed. I would walk in the house, put my feet in my pool, which was cold at the time, put my feet in the pool, and then change socks, sit there at my table, go over the workout, read it, look at the numbers from last time, write down what I was going to attempt to do to beat them. So I kind of had already put it through my head, and then go to the gym and do those numbers. I think a lot of people walk into the gym both tired and they haven't looked over their workout. They're finding out what they need to do while they're there. Like my logbook, because if you're doing push-pull legs, that means you're keeping track. My logbook was filled out before I got to the gym. I already knew what I had to do, what I had done the previous week, and I would put in small writing what I was hoping to do that day. And some days it was there. Some days you beat it. Some days you realize during a warm-up it wasn't fucking happening today because you had a tweak or whatever. But I really think not enough people have a pre-workout routine to get their head in the game, because I don't consider myself superhuman from a physical standpoint in any way, but I think from a mental standpoint I am, because I was beating numbers my entire career up to 2 weeks out. Like always. In fact, I was better.
Here's a concept. People need to focus less on their pre-workout drink and more on their pre-workout mindset. Right? What's more powerful, 200 mgs of caffeine or 10 minutes of the right type of music with the right type of visualization and mentally rehearsing what you're going to do? You know?
Combined with caffeine.
I remember driving. I take caffeine.
Combined, yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice thought, Ron. Drugs. I don't necessarily believe a word of this bullshit. I'm just throwing it out there. These are concepts that I'm just introducing to the listeners. Hey, let's just rattle around in your head a little bit.
I would just up the dose of caffeine and hit the gym, but
Well, no, I'm just thinking, you see people, they come in the door, they pound their pre-workout, and while they're pounding their pre-workout, they're having a conversation with their friend. And the conversation is going, well, that girl's just a fucking bitch. I don't know what she's talking about. I fucking called her back, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, well, her friend said this. Yeah, but my brother's going to be fucking doing this, and then he's going to sell the house. Okay, fuck him too. And then they turn and they go into the gym.
Yeah.
And then they go, okay, you had your pre-workout, but you're not ready to train.
True.
And we all do this. Now, this is not like everyone has life. Everyone shows up and their training partner goes, how's the day? And you go, fuck, today was rough at work. My boss was a fucking dick, but we're okay. I'm going to get, we're on chest day. Let's go.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you got, of course we're all humans, but you got to be able to everyone's got their day where they talk a little much or they can't get their mind right. But, you still can, like, maybe it's not till like the second exercise where you finally get your mind right, but just don't give up on that. It's important.
I think you too. It's also, if you've got the right training partner, it's helpful.
Very helpful.
I had that happen before. I had a training partner that came in one day, and we always had a great relationship. It was like training with Ron. Like, we don't really talk a lot. We just, what are we doing? What are we doing next? Boom. Because we kind of just create workouts together, but there's no conversation when Ron and I train.
A little
we were the same way. Yeah. It's little inappropriate things, but nothing else. He made a comment about something going on in his life early, and I kind of just let it slide. And then he did another one. And on the third one, I said, Andrew, I do care. I just don't care right now. So either wait till after we train or fucking go home, because I'm not doing this. And he was like,
right.
All right. And he looked at me and goes, give me 5 minutes. I said, okay. He went and did 5 minutes on the bike and came back, and we had a workout.
Hell yeah. I like
that
kid.
He understood, but he knew he had to get there. It wasn't going to be a light switch for him, like flip. He's like, all right, I need a minute. Take your minute. I'll be here. And I think that 5 minutes is what Ron is talking about too. It's like, there are those moments. You get a phone call right as you're walking to the gym. It's your kid from school. You're like, fuck. Well, okay, hang up the phone
calls you got to take too.
Yeah. Then you just reset, take those couple of minutes, get back in that mindset. Do not walk over and get under the bar thinking about little Timmy smoking a fucking vape in school. That's not good. That's douche mentality. Oh, sorry. Anyways.
Right. I know. I have to say, the resting bitch face rant.
Oh yeah,
that was phenomenal.
Way more feedback. I had so many people. Here's one. I couldn't believe how many people thought I was talking about them.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Like they're messaging me like, hey man, I'm real sorry I didn't say hi to you the other day. I was just grumpy. I'm like, I'm not talking about you, man. I didn't even notice you were grumpy. Like,
that's amazing. You know who has the best saying about that is Joe Bennett. He put up a post one day and some guy goes, shots fired. And Joe responded back, and I will steal this for the rest of my life. He goes, I don't shoot shots, I drop shoes. It's not up to me who they fit. And I was like, that's amazing. So that was you. You dropped a shoe, and that guy picked it up and said, oh, that fucker fits me perfectly, and shot you a message and said, I'm sorry.
Then I had a lot of people thinking I was talking about like people that just look serious in the gym. They're like, well, but you look pretty serious in the gym. And I'm like, oh, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about looking serious in the gym or anything like that. I'm talking about what was the phrase? People who take a bit of strange pride in having toxic behaviors.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That sort of thing. You know, the people that are like, they wear their resting bitch face with pride. They know it's on. And they hold their chin up with it on and they give it to everyone. And I guess a lot of people message me saying like, oh, well, I have to have my resting bitch face so that people don't talk to me. And I'm like, I understand a certain look on your face as like an armor, but you also have to be aware that when you then go to interact with the girl at Starbucks, you should maybe smile at her while you order your coffee. To, you know, keeping your resting bitch face on that has been your maybe public transport armor. You got to remember that it's on your face. And now the three people that you have to actually talk to at Starbucks are, you're just not making anybody's day better. That's all.
Yeah.
So I was just sort of like talking about that, you know.
You know, Ron, I had somebody comment on it when I put it up. It was so funny. I love when people try to call me out on my post, by the way. It always makes me laugh. But a guy commented on it because I shared that, and he goes, "Yeah, like the reason that you're not smiling in the pictures you posted today on your trip." And I'm like, the thing that makes me laugh is you're trying to like call me out, and I'm like, I don't smile in pictures like that because I'm incapable of smiling the way I smile when I'm laughing. So I look like a moron. I look like a child in school that was told to smile. Like, I don't know how to smile when I'm like, smile. I don't know. It doesn't happen. My brain don't connect to what that looks like.
Wait, hold on. So, I got to see it, Dusty. If I were to ask you to smile for a picture right now, like, I got to see what it looks like. Give me.
I just gave it to you. It's like, I mean, literally, it's like my whole face opens. I'm like, and then I'll see it was funny because Nikki shot a picture of me. Oh, look, there he goes. He's getting one. Holy shit! He's getting proof of how bad it is. This is going to be fantastic.
He's got something.
Oh, this is great. Now I'm excited because he like ran out of the room.
He knew. Yeah. This is when you know you have a real friend, by the way. What's he got here?
What is happening, Ron?
I have no idea.
There you go.
Watch it be nothing.
Oh,
what's happening?
Your cord was done. We thought you were going to grab a picture.
I thought you had like a proof of what it would be. Oh God!
No,
So anyways, that was the shot that someone tried to unravel me with, and I'm like, oh no, I just don't know how to smile on command, kiddo.
Yeah,
and
anybody who knows that's a good comeback.
Yeah, I just assume that everyone in a photo with me is like, please don't ruin the picture with that terrible fucking version of a smile you have.
Right.
So, but that was good shit. I just love that. I'm like, again, you also don't understand what resting bitch face is because it's an aura.
Yeah,
it's not just
it's an aura. It's not just what's
face.
Here. It's an energy.
Yeah. I don't really buy that either, guys, with the whole be an asshole in the gym thing. I walk into the gym and probably say a form of hello to like 8 people before I start training, and no one ever bothers me while I'm training, ever. Because when I'm actually training, like during the working sets, I think the problem that a lot of people don't realize is kind of like we talked about an aura. It doesn't really look like you're training that fucking hard, so people walk over to you.
Yeah.
Like, no one has ever walked over. Now, when I'm warming up and I'm like tossing plates on, somebody walk up and hey, what's up, man? I'm like, hey, go on. And they'll walk by. When I've got my, getting my mind right and I've got 5 plates on a bar and I'm about to walk up to it, never in my career has someone walked over. So you might want to think again, kind of like Ron was talking about, focus on the pre-workout versus the pre-workout ritual. You might want to focus on how much energy you're putting into the set, because something's wrong. Because I've made my entire life. Once I got big, I realized that the first assumption someone makes when you're bigger is that you're an asshole. Right. Immediately. So you need to knock that down the first time they make eye contact with you. And it has to stay down. So when I walk in the gym, every person in that gym knows that I'm approachable and that I say hello. Yet they still leave me the fuck alone when I'm got 700 pounds on a bar. So y'all are doing something wrong.
You know what? I don't do the resting bitch face thing. And I think I'm going to tell you guys a story. I think it paid off. I told you I was at the mall the other day, and I wanted something to drink. And so we were at the food court, and there was a Taco Bell, and I was like, I'm going to get myself a Diet Mountain Dew. So I walked up to the lady, and I ordered a Diet Mountain Dew, and she hands it to me, and she said, have a nice day. And I was like, oh, I didn't pay you yet. And she was like, oh, no, it's okay. Just have it. And I really think, because when I walked up to her, I was like, hey, how's it going? Ordered the drink. And I asked her, how are you doing today? And she was like, oh, I'm having a good day, this and that. And I was like, oh, cool. She makes a drink. She's like, here you go. She's like, oh, no, it's free. Just take it. I was like, holy shit.
That's awesome.
But that's interacting with people and giving people, I don't know. I think I don't do the resting bitch face thing. I guess that's my point of the story. Plus, I wanted to brag. I got a free drink.
Which is phenomenal.
By being nice.
Yeah.
Exactly. You paid in kindness.
I got a question that I didn't ask on the last one, and I just remembered it because I had an answer for it.
Okay.
So the question was,
cheating whore.
Do you have any habits, whether they're goofy or bad or dumb, that you used to be embarrassed by, but now you've just accepted them?
Well, I've never been embarrassed by them, but I should have been for all of them. So what is yours, Ron, though? Because you have one loaded. What is it?
When they asked me, my first reaction was, I can't help myself, and I've always done it my whole life. But when I listen to music in my headphones, I just can't help but play a little air guitar. I can't help it. I still do it in the gym. I catch myself doing it in the gym all the time. I'll just be standing there while Braden's doing his set, and I'm just like playing a little air guitar.
I can totally picture that.
I'm not like doing, I'm not doing that. I'm not trying to win an air guitar challenge.
Yeah.
But I just noticed my hand, my one hand is sort of like, my pick hand is kind of going or something. I can't help myself. There's just, and I used to, like, if I ever caught myself doing it, I'd be like, oh.
Stops. Now he throws in a drum.
Yeah, now I think once you hit 40, I think it's the 40, the big 4-0. You hit 40 and you're like, I just don't fucking care.
You don't care anymore.
Yeah.
You're like, I'll be that guy.
I'll sit down and fucking do a drum solo while Braden's doing a set.
You're like, what? I own the place.
I own the place. What are you gonna do?
Literally.
Yeah. So, but I remember that used to be something I was self-conscious of. Like, even I'd be standing in line at a hockey game waiting for like a drink, and they play like a cool song, and I'd be like standing there like, playing just a little bit. Maybe my one finger's just going like this a little bit,
That's funny, man.
I love that you said that you did that in the gym, because literally yesterday on the airplane, we're sitting there and I'm listening to music, and all of a sudden I reach over and whack, and Nikki moves. She goes, what are you doing? I go, you're where my symbol goes. And she's like, what the fuck? Sorry,
I'm glad I'm not
you shouldn't have been standing there.
I know. I'm glad I'm not the only one. You know,
I actually
I'm
enjoy
waiting to
when
see
people
like
watch me
well,
being
you see
weird.
kids do it, right? You see them there between sets, and they go like they put one hand up and they go like this.
Yeah,
You
I've
know?
seen that.
Kids mixing it. That's fucking great.
Yeah, air mixing.
Oh my god,
Air mixing. New generation,
Okay.
Dusty.
that's fantastic.
Okay.
I was trying to walk
know.
through, but I'm so proud of all my weird ones, so it doesn't matter.
I have no more questions. I did have one more comment though, just to revisit it one more time. Ron's a damn serial killer for eating pizza with a knife and a fork. I just wanted to put it up there. That's all.
They're repetitive. They're literally admitting that you're. Everyone agrees that makes you a serial killer, not like a weirdo, a murderer.
Yeah, but Ron's
So what
okay
is
with
it? Is it that it's too much control and precision?
I think that
Is
might
what
be.
serial
I think that
killers
might
require?
be it. You know, I think that might
Because
be
serial
it.
killers are control freaks and they're precision people.
In the pride that you take. You know what I mean? Like
Pride you take.
the way you talk about it, Ron. It's like if you don't do it this way, then you are an absolute just filthy
Wow.
heathen.
Hey,
You know?
I'm not going to tell someone they're an inferior failure.
Yeah.
And they could be
Because they are.
You know? Some people want to just randomly eat toppings and wind up with big giant pieces of crust that have no topping left on them. I guess that's just not my problem.
Ron just dropped shoes, right?
Oh my god! See, but that's I have to say though, and not that I eat pizza with a knife and fork, but I'm a little bothered that there's more people attacking Ron over the pizza than you with the Crocs. Like you got people that have your back.
There's a Croc army
There's
out
an
there,
imbalance.
Dusty. Listen, you got to be careful,
Yeah,
Like,
man.
why is no one
Coming for
jumping
you.
on here and going, fuck you, he's eating it properly, he's getting the pepperoni on every bite?
I've had people that are like, if Dusty would just try a Croc on. I've had people say that. If Dusty just tried Crocs.
He just puts one on one foot.
yeah.
Just one. You know what? I tried that move growing up all the time. Just the tip, just for a second, just to see how it feels.
Gush. Oh, I'm really sorry about
fuck.
that. Yeah. Okay. Did we lose Dusty or did I lose you guys?
We hear you.
Oh,
I had a crazy
okay.
lag for a
Everything's good
second
now.
there.
Good.
Okay.
We're good.
Okay. Well,
All
we're
right.
going to wrap.
Successful episode.
That's it for episode 153 now. Is that what this was?
Pretty sure.
If
Three,
it's just
yes.
bodybuilding. Remember,
153.
like, share, subscribe, comment.
Ring the bell.
There we go. Did you get that?
We got it.
There was a crazy lag on Dusty, so I assume that came through. And but remember, YouTube questions are where it's at. And I hope you enjoy the episodes this week. And we'll get you next week. Remember, it's just bodybuilding.